know it's Sam. Thank you all for watching my most recent video. I really appreciate it. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. I have decided to do a quick Q&A video to talk a little bit about myself. I realized that not a lot of people know who I am, so I have a little list here. You'll see me looking down a lot, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm reading the questions. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get things started. So the first question is, where am I from? I know some people know this, but for those who don't know, I am originally from Jamaica. I was born there. I moved from Jamaica when I was 10 years old, and it was my first time ever being on a plane, and I didn't know what to expect. To be quite honest, I didn't know that we were going to New York, but when we got on the plane, it was like the best experience I ever had. Back in them days, it wasn't that long ago, but back in them days, they used to serve Jamaican breakfast on the airplane, and it was the best flying experience. I was a little bit scared though. Got to New York, and it was in the winter time. So if you can imagine, that was such a culture shock for me. I had never seen snow. I'd never been anywhere that was cold. So when I got there, I saw all these big buildings. The lights were on. The city was lit up, and it was freezing, and it was so cold. And I was just like, where in the world does my mom have us at? Like, what is this? I want to go back immediately. This is too cold for me. But it was cool because I had never seen such tall buildings, and it was just lights everywhere, and everything was just so busy. I don't remember what time of night it was, but it was at nighttime. So it was pretty cool. And I grew up in the Bronx. I went to Lima High School. Shout out to Lima High School. Yeah, and then after that, I moved to North Carolina to go to undergrad. I went to Winston-Salem State. Shout out to Winston-Salem State. That was also a culture shock for me. But my dad lives down there, and I used to visit during the summer. So it wasn't like brand new to go from New York to such a slow city. But living there was completely different than visiting. So the next question is, what is life like in Jamaica versus the US? I did go back to Jamaica and spend like a month, probably like a year or two ago. And I will say it was a great experience for me. I've been back to visit before then, but actually living there and staying there as an adult was completely different than it was as a child. But I love that. So I'm from Montego Bay, and Dr. Scave Beach, that's my favorite beach to go to. I loved going back there. It was so nostalgic. I got to see my house that I grew up in when I was younger. And life is just so slow and free, and it's just enjoyable and pleasurable. You get time to like slow down and just relax and take it easy. I don't know, when I was there, it was a true vacation for me. And I mean, I took that time off to kind of, you know, reconnect with my roots and just relax and sit still a bit. I really believe that every now and again, it's important to take some time where you're not doing anything. Okay, now we're done with like the background information. We're gonna go into some cooking questions. So the first question was, do you have a big immediate family that you were responsible for feeding? No. I'm the oldest of all of my siblings. There are 4 siblings, 2 sisters, 2 brothers. I love you guys. But I wasn't like responsible for feeding them. How I got into cooking, I think that's the question. So I got into cooking because my mom, I was getting older, and my mom was just tired of cooking all the time. So she was like, you gotta help out. It's time for you to learn. And one day, it started off by her asking me to season the chicken. I'll never forget, because I was just like, why am I having to do this? I was so blown. But I'm grateful for it now because I can cook really well. But yeah, I would be in the kitchen with her, watching her cook, and I would season the chicken, and she would tell me like what to do, what not to do. And then she taught me how to make rice. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, some people can't make rice good, but she taught me how to do that. And then I just used to watch her in the kitchen, and that's how I started learning how to cook. The first thing, so there's another question about what was the first meal I cooked for myself. Not even gonna lie, it was like ramen noodles. I don't know if that counts as a meal, but that was the first thing, ramen noodles, because it was so easy. Then, this is interesting. I graduated from ramen noodles to making mashed potatoes with hot dog sausages. Some of it in Paris. But I mean, it was easy and I liked how it tastes. And then I learned how to cook bully beef and rice. Again, easy. So as you can see, this theme of cooking stuff that's quick and easy has been a part of my life ever since I was a little girl. And I was probably like 13 when I started making food for me and my sister. The first real meal I made though was in undergrad. Actually, no, because I used to cook for my siblings when I lived in North Carolina. So yeah, undergrad. So I used to make chicken fried rice and like baked chicken, what else? Chicken stir fry, and to this day, chicken stir fry is my go-to meal. I'm going to do a tutorial about that because it takes like 20 minutes. And I found the perfect veggie combination from Trader Joe's, so keep looking out for that stir fry video. When did I realize I love to cook? Started cooking very early, didn't really enjoy it, hence me making stuff that was quick and easy to make. I would say in 2016 is when I really started enjoying it, and the how that came to be was because I started cooking a lot more. I was trying to save up money and be more cost efficient with my funds, and so I decided I needed to cook more, and I couldn't eat stir fry every night. So I started cooking, and I was putting it on Snapchat, and everybody would always comment, "Oh my gosh, that looks so good." And I would cook for a few people, like people in my life, and they enjoyed it. And seeing them say how much they loved it kind of inspired me to keep on cooking. And so the more I cooked, the better I got at it. And that's how Cooking with Sam Ray was born. So the next question is, what is a favorite skill or technique that I use to cook? So I don't know if I have a favorite skill or technique, but I will say that I have a favorite seasoning that I love to use. I actually use it in my jerk recipe in my other video. Go watch it if you haven't. But it's a great seasoning, and I use it on almost everything that I make because I just love the flavor combinations that are in it, all the spices that they put in there. So, okay, it's getting a little spicy now. So there have been some dating questions. So I will go ahead and try to answer these to the best of my ability. What would my perfect partner be? So I'm going to do a whole dating video at some point to talk about like my dating style, my commitment style, and what dating in DC is like. So I won't get into too much details, but I will say 3 things that I don't like. So the first one is someone who is cheap. I understand being cost effective and being on a budget because I'm exactly like that completely. So I get it. But I do not like to restrict myself and deprive myself of things that I know I deserve and I know that I work hard to save for. So if someone is gonna be in my life and they are cheap and trying to deprive me or restrict me, not gonna happen. Don't like it. Next thing is someone who is either transphobic, homophobic, biphobic, anything along those lines. I just feel like it's being mean and like you're going out of your way to be discriminatory against people for simply existing. Like you're minding their business and being concerned about what they're doing with their lives when you could just simply live your life and mind your business. Like you don't have to be mean and rude and deny people equal rights and just, you know, hinder upon their existence. I don't like that. And then the last thing, you know, there's always some Facebook or Twitter debate about this, but if you defend people like Bill Cosby or R. Kelly, it's not gonna work. I'm sorry, it's not. I don't agree with separating the artists from their work, particularly when it comes to R. Kelly specifically, because he sings about some of the things that he used to do, and if that's okay with you, then that's just gross. Like, no. Okay, there are a lot of good questions. The journey of me buying my first house, starting cooking with Sam Ray, running a business. So I'm gonna do a video for each of these things in more detail because they are very detailed and I don't want to make this video too long. But I'll just say I bought my first home when I was 25 and I started cooking with Sam Ray when I was 26. And as I said, I'll just go into more details when I make that video. So that's why that's why y'all need to subscribe so you can see when I post these videos. They're very interesting. Well, I think they're interesting. I mean, I think you think so too, but okay. Next question. Journey through getting my PhD, so my doctoral program. You guessed it. I'm gonna make a video about that too, because boy, that was a journey for real. Like, so many things happened when I decided to start my doctoral journey, and I'll do a video about that. But I started when I was actually right around the same time I decided to buy my house. I got accepted into the doctoral program. So buying a house for the first time, starting a PhD program, you can only guess how intense that whole process was. If you have any other questions you want me to discuss, I could do a part 2. You can ask the questions in the comment box below. Y'all know I like to do that. I like to point down. So go ahead and write any questions you want me to answer in a part 2 of this video. If there are enough questions, I'll do a part 2. Like I always say, I love to have dialogue in my comments, so please comment and please share this video if you liked it and it was interesting, a little bit funny. Like the video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.